My dear Bagginses and Buffins.
By the blood of our people, are your lands kept safe?
I see in your eyes the same fear that will take the heart of me.
So do all who live to see such times.
By all that you hold dear, this good earth.
There's some good in this world, and it's worth fighting.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we are revisiting Season 1, Episode 5 of The Rings of Power. Yeah, you know what? Let's just jump right in. I don't have too much to say about this episode on the outset. We open with a kind of a cold open with Nori and Mr. Meteor is what I call this guy now.
Okay.
I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah, the Iron Giant thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm.
The song. I mean, yeah, you can talk more about the Iron Giant reference. It's not even a reference. It's just like it kind of feels like that. But
Yeah.
I don't like this song, and
Okay.
that comes up like with the montage. Like I get it's a montage, but like there's lyrics are like my legs are so short, and then there's another line, no comfort but song. I just don't like it.
Okay.
I don't know about you. So what I have here in my notes, and I have them a little bit later, so I'm gonna restate.
We just lost audio again.
I'm switching mics. All right, we're going with this mic now.
Sure.
All right. Later on, we have more songs come up, and there's just the songs that pop up in the original trilogy are just so much better for me. These just aren't it. They don't bring me in at all.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say on this Harfoot portion of the intro?
No, I don't.
No.
No.
Now, do we have any thoughts on these cult people? Like, we know they're looking for Sauron, right? We think they're looking for Sauron.
Yes.
So they think he's dead or died, and now he's coming back in the form of a meteor. Is that
Guess.
okay? And like they are like kind of like magic users to some degree. It's just I don't know who these people are, and like how are they able to just roam around with no one being like, hey, there's like rando magic people roaming around being weirdos. Like you'd think like the dwarves, the elves might like have heard of this happening. And we don't really know what the human settlements are like close to the dwarves and elves, so we don't know like what's happening there, but I would think that like people would notice these three cult people. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't really understand how they fit into everything yet. And then we get a really weird Adar scene after having such a strong intro into the show and into the series. Adar has this messed up scene where he gets like this orc to stick his hand out into the sun, and he's like, describe what you're feeling, and the orc's like, it burns, and he's like,
This feels like fire.
yeah, and he's like, I wish you could feel what I feel, and soon you won't have to suffer. But like he makes him stick his hand out for like 2 to 3 minutes. Like why? It's weird. I get what he's doing, but like it's a weird way to do it. It should almost have been a more...
It's not like a quick thing.
But it also to make him stick his hand out is weird. It should have more been like the orc trips or something, and like his arm gets hit by some sunlight, and then that conversation. Like, don't make him stick it out. And
yeah, he's. I don't think he has like a good sense of empathy.
No.
Like he even likes orcs, but he doesn't understand like. Oh, this is gonna hurt him.
yeah. He's like, he sees it's burning his skin. In fact, if you watch the subtitles,
there's a good effect. I mean, we get a good. We get to see what happens. That's effective.
True. And maybe this was a point to make that Adar is not good for the orcs either.
Well, he's not a good guy. No,
I'm not saying he's a good guy, but like he's not even good for the orcs as
Yeah.
their leader. He's someone they look up to, but it's almost they're putting their trust in the wrong elf or hybrid, whatever we think he might be. Yeah, I just think it was a weird scene after like such a strong Adar showing where you think, oh, this guy might be like kind of a nice villain, and it's gonna be weird to like have to go up again. But no, he's straight up like not a good dude. And Waldreg, he's got great delivery of lines that I think would otherwise come off really cheesy.
We lived. I'll say this about our ancestors.
Yeah. So, I think he's an underrated part of this show, and they're not utilizing. Like they use him very well early on, and as the show goes on, he loses screen time, and I think that's a mistake. I think you got to get him out there. He needs to be the voice of the orc.
It is an interesting point. Like, how did Bronwyn end up in this leadership role, and why are people just listening to her?
I know, and Waldreg makes this point in a previous episode where he's like, "It's my food. Who appointed you? You're not cutting my rations. It's all my food." Yeah, so I agree. Why is she? I guess she's in charge because she's with the elf, and the elf seems to be in charge because he's like a trained soldier. So yeah, I don't really know what the dealio is there. And then we get a really fun interaction with Isildur and his father. What are your qualifications? I just love that line when Isildur's like, yo, my dad's in charge of signing people, conscripting people up to the army. I could just join up. And he's like, well, what do you bring to the table? You're a goof off. Like, what are your qualifications? And then when Isildur has nothing, he's got a great line too. While you were feigning fidelity to the traditions of this island, these men were living them. See, these two actors, Waldreg and Elendil, they are delivering these lines very well. And I don't think the showrunners are using them as much as they should. These guys need more lines because when you give these lines to other people, it sounds bad. But these guys are delivering them in a way where it feels like something they would say.
Yeah. So what's with Isildur's sister? Like, she's against the... Why doesn't she...
I don't know what's going on.
Her dad and her brother are super into this, like, elf stuff and, like, going to help, but she's not. Like, why? How come we don't see, like, a dynamic of her, like, talking to her dad about the war and stuff?
Right. She's just doing it herself, and she immediately now, maybe this is, like, a character thing that we should pay attention to for season 2, but she went from being kind of shy around other people, especially boys, to like using the fact that she's a woman to get him to do what she wants, like this other boy. Like, she's starting to like use this.
She's using her
womanly charms or whatever you want to call it, but like she's using her sexuality to get this guy to basically do whatever she wants, to the point that he does something kind of insane. And I don't know why she's so convinced of this. And also, she seems to think that this boy can like talk his own dad down from his dad's a genius. His dad is a political genius. I don't think she realizes that. And so she's like, oh, just convince your dad to like talk to the queen to say no. And it's like, do you know how many steps have to go right for this garbage plan to work? And then he doesn't even take the hint. He does something else. I guess because like the line, what was the line? The line is like, my dad, when I speak, my dad, his ears close or something like that. And she says, speak louder.
Speak louder.
He's like, oh, okay, so blow shit up. Okay. Become a weird pyro guy. I don't think we're there yet, though, because
Yeah, resort to terrorism.
yeah, that comes. So that the line "speak louder" does come up here, but then eventually he's going to make that statement. Just quickly before we move on here, because there's a line that I thought was kind of fun, and it is going to come up again, and it's Elendil talking to Isildur saying, "You've made your choice," referring to the fact that he just kind of goofed off and never followed through on anything. And he says it in like you've made bad choices, like you've made your choice in a bad way. And I my first thought was one of many bad choices that this man will make over the course of his life.
Yeah.
Like I thought the way you set this up is you have us root for Isildur only to have him fall from grace. I thought that was the trajectory of this character. This character's a Goomba from day one. He's awful, and I want him to die, but I know he won't, so there's no tension. And so I don't understand what this character brings to the table. Like, it makes me hate this character even more. And he's already the reason that the ring survives. So, like, anyway, that's just something I thought of. And then we get a Halbrand scene where, to your point, and I think you keep bringing this up, and I think it's looking more and more reasonable. He genuinely looks like he wants to be a blacksmith. He does not want to be Sauron. He wants to be Halbrand the blacksmith, and he's so happy. The camera lingers on him. He's like tearing up at like his blacksmithing, and it's like, this guy he's not Sauron. He's not. He's somebody else.
He's Walter White.
He's like enamored with this, and the lingering shots, they're not for anyone else. There's no one else there. It's just him and the audience, and you can see how much he likes this. And Galadriel's just gonna ruin it, and it's such a weird dynamic to have Sauron not want to be Sauron, who wants to just be a blacksmith, and have him yanked out of it by Galadriel. And she's like, no, you must become Sauron. It's like crazy to me. So yeah, the Halbrand scenes in this episode are the ones that are the most confusing because of how much they focus on him not wanting to go, and there's no one else in the room. It's just him being upset that he has to go. Though if that's their idea of a fake out, it's super cheap because there's no other characters. It's just the audience. That doesn't make any sense. So I don't understand Sauron.
Yeah, maybe that's something we can figure out next season, is like why. Like, yeah. He's gonna have he's gonna have to have some sort of confrontation with Adar, I guess.
I honestly think he needs to come clean and say, I would have been okay just being a blacksmith. That's the only explanation, is that he didn't want any of this to happen. And he's almost forced into it, which is really weird when you go back and watch the original trilogy and try to link them. Because then you're like, he didn't even want this. He wants to be a blacksmith. And you, Galadriel, you screwed it up. And then you send these poor saps to die. Like, at least you could do is go with them. Anyway, I'm getting worked up over over what it means.
Yeah, it'd be funny if like it's the end scene and Aragorn's at the Black Gates and the mouth of Sauron comes out and he's like, my master, he just wants to be a blacksmith all along.
At some point, someone's gonna do like a really good edit where instead of having the Sauron scenes the way they are, like with a tower and eye or with the armor, it's just going to be Halbrand within Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings roaming around trying to become a blacksmith.
Oh, and maybe like since he lost his fingers, he hasn't been able to hold the hammer properly.
Oh, and that's why he's mad. So he needs...
So the whole Third Age Sauron rise up is like, my fingers.
That's good. I mean, what other explanation is there? We're gonna get to more scenes like this, but here's one that I wanted to touch on. We get to the Harfoots again. We get this line: "You should have taken their wheels." Okay.
Oh yeah.
First of all, you never said that before. You said you shouldn't let them come with us, and he said that they were going to be at the back. Nobody ever mentioned stealing each other's wheels and leaving each other for dead. That's a new thing, and it makes no sense. It's insanity. Like, literally, let's just take each other's wheels. What? How?
Take their wheels.
How are you going to take their wheels? You're going to have to fight them for it. They're not going to just let
Well,
them.
they did mention decaravanning.
I thought that
and
meant
the-
you just can't come with us. Like, you have to go on your own. I didn't think it meant take their wheels.
Maybe, I don't know.
Now I'm confused. So did they kill what's her name's parents? They say she
Yeah.
died in an avalanche, but they might have been their wheels might have been stolen. Anyway, that's just my own little like take their. I know the decaravaning thing, but I thought that meant like you're just not welcome here. Like you can get kicked out of the Shire. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't like. Well, I guess they would steal your house in that sense, but like they don't. They're not trying to kill you in that same way. Here it's death. Here it's like we're gonna steal your wheels. You're stuck in one place. Actually, how about this? I've found a way for season 2 to retcon/fix season 1 Harfoots. Hear me out. They steal their wheels right at where the Shire is gonna become the Shire, and they instead of being able to move around, they have no wheels. So now they can't migrate, and they just have to survive on this new land, and that becomes the Shire. Problem solved. The stealing of the wheels is key to my solution. Okay, so yeah, we got the stealing of the wheels and the Harfoots. I don't really like it. And then we get the wargs. Now, I always thought when I watched the original trilogy that wargs were like a creation of Sauron or Saruman, or like they combine like wolves and pigs. I guess they're an actual just native animal here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like they'd be more prominently chasing these Harfoots, but I don't know. This is why the caravanning doesn't really make sense to me, because like they have to constantly traverse through wolf territory or warg territory. So I don't quite get how all that works, but there's some tension here because
yeah, I mean, okay, no, this happens later. I'll bring it up when it comes up.
yeah, like there is some tension with the wargs here, which I like, just because they might kill someone. Not everyone here has to survive, type of thing. So, I
But
do like
now,
the
like
tension.
the Iron Giant is now endearing himself to everyone else.
Yeah, that's right.
Which happens in the Iron Giant.
Yep.
So.
But then it might go too far. No,
Well, because this is what I was gonna mention later. Because then, like, he accidentally hurts Nori.
yeah.
And then Nori is the one that's scared of him and runs away. It would have been better if everyone endeared to the Iron Giant for a bit before something happened. But then it shouldn't be Nori.
No, it should have been that
scared.
woman.
No, it shouldn't be anyone. It should be like her parents' concern.
Oh, I
for
see.
her being
Yeah,
around
yeah. That's good.
as him being dangerous, and they're trying to keep him away. Like, get back! You're a weapon, or you're not good. And he's like, I am good. I don't know.
no,
Something
I
like
see what you're
that.
getting at. I see what you're getting at. Yeah, you're right.
But
So I
it's-
thought it was
they're-
weird how he hurt Snorri later on.
They're
Yeah.
getting they're getting the formula wrong. Like, go watch the Iron Giant, just copy it.
Literally
Yeah.
copied the Iron Giant for the Harfoot scenes. Straight up,
Yeah.
way better. I agree. I think they kind of monkey around with this a little bit too much, and it doesn't quite work.
Cause like Hogarth never turns on the Iron Giant. It's his like
yeah.
it's his mom and that other guy who are like, he's a weapon. Stay away. Like, you gotta be careful around him.
Yeah, because there's a classic scene where like the Iron Giant's kind of freaking out, and
because
it's
he has a gun. He has like the little toy gun, and then he's like goes into like nuclear.
yeah, and then it's not until the kid comes back and the Iron Giant sees him that it calms him down. He realizes that he is a dangerous creature to these people if he's not careful. But yeah, no, I agree.
And then he goes off on us. They should have just this whole
All right.
wizard This should just be the Iron Giant.
we're gonna review the Iron Giant. I think that's what when we're done this summer, Iron Giant review. Stay tuned for that because it's crucial to understanding the story that should be happening here.
Yeah, they're getting it wrong. The whole Harfoot Gandalf, whoever he is, this should just be an Iron Giant knockoff.
I have not seen that movie in a long time, so it'd be fun to revisit. Okay, so we go from there to this fight scene, this Galadriel fight scene.
Oh yeah.
So
the scene where everyone criticized and they interviewed the guy, or I can't remember exactly, and they said like, yeah, someone asked him how hard was that to film. He's like, not hard. It only took like a day.
Yeah. My problem, and I wrote this down, I've rarely ever say this about a fight scene in a movie. It feels too choreographed to the point that it's almost like a play where it's clearly choreographed and it's a play. Like, you're not going to judge it on that. And they're just trying to make it look almost dance-like. So like it's not meant to feel like at any moment someone could get cut. All the swings are like not even aimed at their target so that they can dodge out of the way. Like I hate the look of this fight scene. I really think that like this is the entire crux of this, the entire action scene of this episode, which I don't know if each episode needs one, but the rule of thumb is you kind of want a little bit of action in each. This is the action scene for this episode. It needs to, I mean, you get one more. You get one more with the wargs and Mr. Meteor, but that's not really sword fighting. That's magic. So this is your one sword fight scene. It has to look better than this for me. I don't like this. There are better sword fight scenes to come in this show, and we've had better ones already. This one just doesn't work at all for me. I know she's a badass and she's really skilled, and these guys are all brand new, but it just looks so awful. That's my one problem with that, or this episode. If I had to change one thing, it'd be that scene, fixing that scene.
Yeah, just make it like you could make it. Well, I don't know. It's a good point because these guys should know how to sword fight already.
They're supposed to be decent, but like they are new. Like these are new recruits, I believe. So
because I'm thinking of like Jon's, like the Night's Watch, like in Game of Thrones when Jon Snow's
he gets
already
hit sometimes, even though
Jon Snow goes there and he's already like he's trained in the castle. He knows how to fight.
Right, but like to your point, that's a great comparison.
But that's like a realistic training scene.
Right,
like
and that's what I want here. Like this training scene makes no sense. I want a bit more realism to it. She can still win in this fashion. It just has to look better. And I think the training scene in Game of Thrones is a better way to do it, where Jon actually does get hit from time to time. He's just way better still. Like he'll get hit like once and they'll get hit like 10 times. That's better. So I would like that. All right, now we get this like kind of dinner scene with the elves and Durin's there, and he tells the story about the stone slab table that they're at, how this stone is super precious, can only be mined in certain depths, and it's only for burial tomb doors and stuff like that. I kind of like this scene. I know, obviously I know what happens. I've seen this episode now like 3 times. I know what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it actually develops Duran's character as a trickster a bit, and he's kind of clever. It's funny.
And it does show him appealing to the elves in a way that we didn't think this character could do. Right? Like you see this character, he's kind of goofy, and you're like, this guy's the king of the dwarves. Can he really like pull it together and be serious for a second? Here he does, and he fucking plays them like fiddles. Like he does a great job. So I like this scene. Ultimately, I don't like how this whole thing plays out very much, but I like this scene and how it's acted, and I actually, the dialogue's pretty good too. So
and we get to see Elrond as a de-escalator.
Yes,
like he's a good what do you call?
He's a good he's becoming a good politician, and this is to like someone's point in the comments. Gil-galad is kind of a weirdo. Like he doesn't have great. He's not a good people person, and he's not majestic. Like there's just something weird about him and how he operates.
Yeah, he's no Rivendell Elrond.
No, he's not. Or
Galadriel.
Yeah, like the way Galadriel, the way both. If you look at the original trilogy, the way both are introduced and the way they both command respect as they enter the screen, it's night and day. Like this guy, he's got a crown on his head. I sometimes forget he's the king. Like he's just a guy. Like it just feels. And to this point, Elendil does a way better. The actor who's playing Elendil feels like that when he enters, even though he's not anybody. He is somebody, but like his house has decreased in status over the years, and yet when he comes into the scene, you feel a presence there. I don't know if it's a miscasting or a misdirecting, but I don't like how this character's being handled at all.
Yeah, I mean, I know they don't really age, but someone a little older might have been better.
Yeah,
like
not
Hugo Weaving was a very good
right.
Elrond.
Right.
You need someone who kind of has that feel.
Yeah, and there's like a grace to Hugo that I don't. Other than the guy playing Elrond, like young Elrond, a lot of them don't. They lack that grace, that the almost floating through the scene type of thing. I don't know. There's just something a bit off about a lot of these elves, and he's because he's the leader. It really shows with him. Okay. We get through this scene. We get the in-show lore about Mithril, and I'm not interested in talking about how it differs from Tolkien's Mithril because I don't think it's important anymore. I think we go with what is here because this is in the show. And
yeah, this is like a derivative of Silmaril.
Right, because if we don't just accept it, every episode we're gonna have to say, "Oh, this sucks. It's not the real."
So
Mithril.
I mean, I don't know if you know the answer, but is Mithril only found in Khazad-dûm?
I think so.
Okay, so
yeah.
even in the other, like you'd only find it in Moria. You wouldn't find Mithril.
Yeah, I believe so.
Somewhere else in Middle Earth. Okay.
Yeah, I
so
believe
maybe there's some consistency. Like some event must have occurred there.
Yeah, because I think that's why Moria becomes such a powerhouse of success, is because it has this rare gem. But I don't really care if this lines up with the lore anymore, because that we know it doesn't. But we just have to go with it. But even with the in-world lore, what we can criticize is two things here. Number one, Elrond's poker face. So the king is describing Mithril, something that you just swore that you would not tell a soul.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. It's goofy.
And the
It's
king
like,
goes,
so you admit. I only admit.
So yeah, the king is like, this is what we need. Like, this is what we think the dwarves have found. What do you know about it? And he goes, I promised him I wouldn't tell you that he found it. In that moment, it's over.
He's like, I want some. This is easy. Even at one point, it's like, Durin was right.
Yeah, so it's done. You've broken the oath. You screwed it up. Okay, it's done. They go on. The entire episode is him contemplating breaking his oath. It's over. It's over. You screwed it up. Durin was right not to trust you. This is why elves and dwarves hate each other. This scene right here. So Elrond is like, I can't tell you that they didn't find it or that they found it. I can't tell you anything. I made an oath that I wouldn't tell you they have this meal down there. And then it happens again with Celebrimbor. It's just nonstop. So this is my problem, is that I understand what they are trying to set up, and this whole idea of Elrond's internal struggle about betraying his friend and saving his people. It's done. Like, what the heck are we even like debating here? They know about it. They sent you to get it, and you immediately reveal they have it, and now they're like, well, now we need you to just ask for it. Like it's awful. I don't get it. What I need to go download the scripts and see the notes, the directing notes of like what was supposed to happen here, because it makes no sense to me, the logic about what Elrond's struggling with. He's already blown it. This scene works better if after this scene we cut straight to him talking to Durin and saying, I didn't realize that I was sent in to betray you, but I was. And not even like either saying I've broken my oath or whatever and apologizing or something like that. But like that's how this should have played out, because he broke it right here. The oath is broken in my books. So yeah, that's something that I forgot how weird this scene plays out. Anyway, we get a fun.
It's like we want the mithril. Durin was right, so you admit to have it. No, I don't admit to that.
No. No, I told him I wouldn't tell you they had mithril. Oh man. Okay, so we cut back to Numenor, and again.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, what's mithril? Like, you
right.
can play this a little better.
Right. He's supposed to be a good politician. He completely messes this up.
Durin was right.
Yeah. So then we cut back to Numenor, where they're singing this like drinking song, and this is why I said earlier on the songs from the original trilogy are just better.
I mean, okay, how do you? I mean, I know you'll find this in every movie, but I did notice this, or TV show. But like, I assume like this is a big city, but they are recycling the same sets over and over again. Because the alleyway they go down is the same one Halbrand fought those three guys.
They probably filmed at the same time.
Yeah, it's all it's like it's all. It's not even like they're playing with different angles. This is the same set. So
yeah, literally, they didn't move the camera. I think the same day they had two different interactions there.
You should know, like, why can't they meet it? Like, is it? I mean, I guess it could be they're all going to the same spot every time, but I mean, how many alleyways are there? You know, there's only one alleyway, and it's always empty. And
there should be a scene.
Happens there.
There should be a scene where they wander in, and there's already a brawl happening, and like, oh, okay, we'll wait our turn. This is the brawl alley. You're right, though. This is a $1 billion show. This is the $1 billion show. They one alley. Oh man, one alley. Now in this brawl that you're talking about, they miss a key opportunity, because Isildur's asking what's his name, Antimo, if so Antimo got promoted, and he's like, Antimo, can you get me on a ship?
No, it's not Antimo. It's the other one. Antimo's the one.
Okay, it's the other one. It's one of his friends, and he's asking, "Can you get me on this ship?" And he says no, and walks away. And I'm like, okay, we already know this show is kind of silly. Let's just go full on and have him say no the exact same way Isildur does in the prologue to the original trilogy. Literally copy that sound and have it dubbed in, where it's just a whisper of no, and just walk away. And then, to make matters worse, Isildur then is like, how about this? You can punch me 3 times, and then you get me on the ship. And then he changes it to 2 times. So his friend punches him 2 times. And then his friend is like, yeah, I'm still not getting you on the ship. It's like, wait a minute, you don't get to punch him and then say no. The deal was the punches for the ship. It's not fair. Why are you punching him? It doesn't make sense. Why? It's like they wrote two different versions, mushed them together, and forgot to edit like certain parts out. And then there actually is a good line here, though. So as much as we're making fun of this alleyway fight scene, there's a really good line. One day, I hope you find something you would be willing to sacrifice anything for.
It's just the ring.
Exactly. It's a great line that leads to the ring. It's a shame it's wasted in this alleyway fight scene. I think it's something his dad should say to him, and it would be pretty cool, especially because of how he gets the ring eventually, which is avenging his dad. So I think that would have been a better go around for it, but anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there because I thought that was kind of fun.
So we have Kevin on the boat, I think.
Yeah.
And he catches Isildur stowing away.
Yeah, and so this is kind of a silly little scene, and when they eventually, so the boat explode, like, so they fight over the lantern. The boat then explodes due to this doesn't make any sense. This is not how explosions happen, but essentially the alcohol explodes. I guess it was pressurized.
Sure.
Yeah, and they eventually get back to shore, and this is how Isildur ends up on the ship. And it's kind of crazy to me, like, how this all played out when there was multiple times for like with his friend. His friend punches him twice. It could have just been that, and his friend gets him on as the stable boy or whatever he ends up being. Like, why did this have to happen? Why did they want him to do this? I just don't. It's kind of crazy to me. Like, he's now obsessed with getting on this boat when an episode ago he like straight up tried to like sabotage a ship. And
he's like, and this guy, he just bumps into this. How many boats are there? And he happens to be on the one
Yeah.
that Kevin goes on.
Yeah, luckily he was on that one.
And he's like,
And luckily he sucks at stowing away too, because like he got spotted immediately. Like, it wasn't even close. Like,
he's like, are you stowing away? He's like,
that's the line. That's the line. Are you stowing away?
Like,
No, you are.
I'm trying to blow up this boat so I can
Yeah.
bang your sister.
Yeah, I won't tell anyone I saw you if you don't tell anyone you saw me. What? He's stowing away on the boat. He's not gonna let you blow it up, you goof. What the heck? Both of these idiots. Oh man. What the heck are they doing? Okay, so we got those guys. All right. Now we're with Galadriel. So the boat blows up, which is like a game changer because now, oh no.
And for some reason, no one's suspicious of these two. I mean, it seems pretty obvious.
Oh, I know.
They're
I know.
responsible for the
So
explosion.
let me get this straight. The son of like the chief politician was fishing late at night, and Isildur was walking along the docks, saw the boat blow up, dove in to rescue this fisherman who happens to be the son of Pharazôn. And everyone's like, yep, that checks out. This better put Isildur on the next boat out. For all they know, Isildur blows it up out of spite because he's not on it. Like,
Exactly.
that should have been the plot. The plot should have been Isildur in jail getting corrupted by Halbrand. No, I'm just. That's a deeper cut episode, I guess. That's how I would have taken it. But no, Halbrand's doing good. So, but first we got to see Galadriel, who is absolutely terrible at politics. So she comes in and is like, "Don't let this terrorist attack deter you from sending your military to Middle Earth." And Pharazon's like, wait, hold up, I disagree. We should maybe like try and make sure the people are actually on our side before we just send them off on these boats. And Galadriel just gets all upset again. Like, she's awful at politicking, because all of a sudden she goes like, I've been waiting forever and we don't have time. While we wait here, Sauron's building his army. We need to go right now. And it's like, you don't live here. These are not elves. They don't owe you anything. You're lucky they're even considering this. Stop like berating. This is why people hate elves. Like, stop berating these people. Like you need to. Halbrand explained to you how to politic and how to get your way, and you're not listening to his advice. So she just goes on this tirade. But Pharazôn's great. The actor playing Pharazôn, there's like 3, 4, maybe 5. You can maybe say 5 actors here, because I'm including Adar in this one, even though doesn't have a ton of screen time, that are just like really bringing it all together. And like each place has like one guy. I guess you could say Durin is pretty good too. Like Elrond and Durin are pretty good, but like without these people bringing it together, some of these scenes would just be awful. Like imagine if the scene is like someone else, the Queen Regent in Galadriel. Without Pharazôn, this scene is just nonsense. It's Galadriel yelling about not getting her way. It's the Queen yelling at Galadriel for yelling, but not really having anything to say. And then Pharazôn is the one that comes in with like an actual like statement and like logic.